So this is what I have for a little fuel trip. Howdy Fixers, so today we're going to be going after a clutch and a 2014 Chevy Spark. On the paperwork we have, they said they call for like 12 to 14 hour job. I'm going to try to shorten that up, show you, make it a little easier for you and for me. Hopefully I can cut that time in half, maybe even less. But they're asking for you to pull the whole engine cradle off the bottom, drop the subframe, and then pull the engine off the subframe and then take the clutch off. So I'm going to attempt to split the case, and hopefully I can do that without taking the subframe out. So just hang along this little journey. If you like what I'm doing for you, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and tell a friend about it. If there's any questions or anything like that, just leave me down below. Give me it doesn't even have to be about this, just give me a comment about anything. But so here we go. Alright, so I already took out my intake, the mass airflow and all that stuff snoot out. So this is all showing. So the biggest problem that we have with this is that we have to support something out. You might end up having to have this up in the air and support the engine while we bust the transmission apart from this and just pull it back this way a little bit. So I'm going to show you what to do. And the next steps, you want to go ahead and take the tire off, get this 1.25" nut off, and then you want to take this 19mm tire-in bolt or nut off, and then you want to take this 15mm bolt off. So if you want to loosen this part up and get this out, you can tap this part here with a hammer, and it'll actually loosen it up. So see, I just tapped on it, and now it pops out just like that, and we'll go to the other side. Okay, so this part here can be tight. Sometimes I took a punch, just drove it in a little bit to kind of spread this apart. And got a pry bar underneath, and now you can move it back and forth. So you can pry this down, and you'll pop this up, so you can get your axle out. So once you get your axle popped out, I mean, at least exposed like that, you want to go ahead and take this splash pan off both sides, so we can have a little more access to everything, so you can kind of see what you're doing. Alright, so now we've got the covers off both sides. We're going to go ahead and take this one off here on the bottom. You got 10s, and you got these 8s. You take this whole thing off, so you have a little more access. So, once you get everything taken off, you go ahead and take a pry bar and you're going to put it at the back of your axle. I've already popped it out a little bit, and just boop. I'm shooting out like that. The other side's a different story. I'm trying to figure out how to take that out. Alright, so I got my axle out on the driver's side, and you're going to need a slide hammer like this. You have to get something behind your axle and actually slide it out. Because if you look in here, it's recessed. So if it's recessed, you can't get a pry bar or a screwdriver in there to pop it out. I tried to, and that's the best way I figured to get it out, was just using a slide hammer. So, hope this helps you. When I pull this connector off, and there's a connector right there, pulled that off, push a little white clip up, and then pulled out. So the next we're going to go after our slave cylinder. I think those are 14s. There's 2 of them. We're going to take that loose. And let's see what else we got to do. So you want to go ahead and take off this nut here for your bell housing. And then there's a bell housing bolt you go ahead and take out. Take that out. So next step, we're going to take this 13 off your starter, and then we're going to wrap it up with tape. You want to make sure you don't hit anything that's metal, because it'll arc out. Alright guys, so I've kind of rushed ahead a little bit. So there was a battery here. I took that out. There was a few 12s and some 10s. You have to take some bracketry out, especially here for this fuse block. You take that out. So then I went and took this hose off so we get a little better access to this stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to take these off. So I'll show what to do. So you want to take the bolts off for the bell housing here and here on the other side, and you even want to take this hose loose. You have this metal bracket right here. It goes across here, and there's a hose that kind of tucked away in the back. But you just want to take that off, because then you'll have a little bit more room to get at stuff. So now, right. So we got the clips off, and there's actually little plastic clips on your shift linkage that pulls out. So it's just kind of a bugger getting those out, because they're really hard. So I got those out for both of those. And then next you're going to have to just make sure you get all your electrical connectors. There's a bracket here that has an O2 sensor on it. Take that loose with this bolt loose here. And And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to support my engine with a jack, and then I'm going to take my bolts out of my mount to see how much slack my engine has, so if it's not going to like fall out once I do this. And then after that, if everything's okay, I'm going to go after the bottom, take the wishbone out, and then we're going to try to push our transmission this way and see if we can get access to our clutch. Alright, so you want to get all these 14s of the 14 here on the other side, this one here, and you're going to go after this 18, two 18s here, and then these four 14s there, get those loose. So you want to go ahead and loosen your starter bolts, and then we're going to go ahead and get our bolts off our bracket here, and then we should be able to get everything out of the way. So this is our flex plate and our flywheel both. They have a lot of blue spots and cracks, so if you don't replace this, you're going to have a lot of chattering, and it's not good because you have to replace your clutch again. Alright, pictures. So kind of jumped ahead a little bit because everything got hot and heavy real quick. So I got my engine supported, and so what I did with this, I had some motorcycle straps holding my transmission all the way back, and you can see where you can have enough room to push this in here. And I took out my my reverse indicator light switch. It's right here where my finger is. You pop that out, you get a little bit more room, so you can get your hands in here, and you can get your flywheel and your clutch out. So the only thing I'm working on now is trying to get this out. So your bolts here, they're 15 foot-pounds plus 25 degrees for your torque, and then your outside clutch plate, it's 15 foot-pounds for your little 10mm bolts. These bolts need to be replaced. I got brand new ones because they're torque to yield, so you have to replace bolts that are torque to yield. If you don't, it's going to come off on you. So you just want to make sure you do that. Next step is we're going to go after our throwout bearing, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is what our old push throwout bearing looks like. If you spin it, you feel rough. You'll hear like a rattling inside. This one has been grinding our flex plate pretty well, so we're going to change it. So I got my clutch back up in there. You torque these bolts down to 21 foot-pounds, and you need like an alignment tool to go in there, and it kind of aligns in. The kit does not come with an alignment tool. We actually had one that was for a different clutch job, so we got it in there. So now we're gonna go ahead and put it back together. So I figured out how to do this. So you have to take the shaft out, and up on top there's actually a nut. See that nut with the spline there? You undo that, and your spline comes up and out of there. But you have to make sure you mark it so you don't put it in the wrong way, and you actually could mess some things up. So you just want to make sure you do it correctly. So when you're putting your axles in, you want to spline them in and kind of see if you can get the twist in, and you can feel it kind of spline your transmission. Then you want to take a dead blow hammer, like so, and then hold your axle out, and then hit this end of the shaft and try to hear it go pop. And then you can go to the other side, you can see where your axle is flush with your transmission. That's how you know it's in. So once you get your axle in, you can go ahead and push it all the way forward, make sure it gets splined into this, and then you can lift up on this part, lift down on this part, and kind of get it lined up. Now we can put our bolt right through the hole. So I kind of fast forward through everything, but this is the main parts that are the most important. It's just getting your axle spline back in, these in the right place, and the shafts. Okay, so I got their mount or wishbone back in place. The main thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you get this, put this on loose, and then have this kind of in this area. Then you want to go to the top of the transmission, mount the transmission mount up, and then come back down, and this should be lined up directly, and you should be able to get your bolt through. If you don't do that, you won't get your bolt through, because that's what I did. Howdy YouTube. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching my videos today. Hopefully this was entertaining for you. Any questions, give me just comment down below. If you liked it, just give me a like, give me a subscribe, tell a friend about it. The thing that I didn't show in there was that I had a cross brace top to top. That's how I support the engine. It's like a cross. It looks like a cross, and you can buy it off the line. I'm pretty sure you can get it off Amazon, or any auto parts store should have one. It's just a brace that goes across, and then off from the windshield to the radiator and from side fender to side fender, and it just supports everything. So really appreciate you guys watching, and thanks.